Corona. India is at fourth position. Curve is yet to start flattening. Over 8 million cases, of which 3,25,000 deaths in the world, zero point 0.4 million cases, of which 10,000 deaths in India. Negative growth is confirmed. Migrants, quite a number, are wondering on what to do. Most of us are lost and are shuffling in between, choosing new ways, old ways, and hybrids. Till some time, we need to follow distance, mask, and wash the corona mantra. Work from anywhere needs to be encouraged. Care of the vulnerable and stricter enforcement matters is the need of the hour. We need to hurry slowly. We need to inch forward. Let us also begin to initiate work under Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati that has come into being in May 2020 across the country, maybe in a small way. Let us get back and hurry up on Natural Farming Platform and Natural Farming Coalition nationally and beyond. It is the time for us leaders to acquire rare skills. As Shane Snow suggests that the leaders need to quickly acquire these rare skills, increased interconnectedness universally has the ability to make micro into macro in no time. It is not easy to suppress data. If authentic sharing does not happen, modified data reaches via gossip, rumor, and social propaganda. This can affect our work, results, and purposes. Therefore, we need to be system thinkers, understanding interconnectedness, ripple effects, synergy, human systems, teamwork to unlock larger potential of the system, team diversity and multiplicity integration. Curiosity, openness, interpersonal skills, communication skills, asking right questions, navigating complexity, analytical ability, and tolerance for ambiguity help in improving systems thinking. We need to be intellectually humble and honest. Information asymmetry has to be reduced. We need to work for more transparency. We need to go 1 to 2 levels up in integrity norms. We need to be more adaptable and flexible. The realization has to be strong that what we know is very little. Team knows more. World knows more. This would mean listening to all views, no overconfidence, separating ego and intellect, and revising viewpoints with new insights. We need to be generous to a fault. Kindness and ability to feel the state of others and respond matters the most. Can we not only refuse to shoot the opponents but also refuse to hate them? Then we can innovate, discover, reinvent systems that work for us, all of us, all the life in this universe. Leaders with these skills are not utopian, they exist amongst us. We need more and more of them, and we can be these. We can make hard choices. We can put people above money. We can put community first. We can be at the forefront of offering hope, faith, promise, and love for the poor, vulnerable, marginalized, and addressing the crisis they face and this planet faces. Windows are small, 10 to 12 years. We need to act now. This is not the last pandemic. We may have more. We may have more disasters. Can we not invest in more of us becoming these leaders in a big way? Today, skills form an integral part in livelihoods and living. We need knowledge, skills, tools, and or resources to be gainfully employed for either working for someone or some entity or working for oneself to achieve livelihoods, a means of living in terms of arrows, capitals, and context of the livelihoods arena. Gainful employment is a continuum which includes casual, wage, job, self-employment, micro-entrepreneurship. In context, yes, there is a crisis. This crisis is further accentuated by COVID-19, a much larger crisis we ever imagined. Today, the living reality includes skewed resource distribution, skewed skill distribution, skewed information availability, growing middle and rich classes, widening gulf between the rich and the poor, reducing charity, business orientation in public services, increasing allocations to some programs like employment guarantee, old age pensions, public distribution system, subsidy for low interest loans, dyeing and drying traditional occupations. Some paradoxes also include 1. Unemployment and underemployment coexisting with employers not getting candidates for jobs. 2. Money of the poor in banks is more than the loans they receive. 3. Large unutilized infrastructure and investments for new infrastructure. 4. Demand for the products and services we cannot give, and no market for the products and services we can give. 5. Rapidly changing climate in terms of ecological, social, economic, and cultural. 6. Globalization and liberalization. 7. Changing or accelerating pace of life and decision making. 8. Low capacities of the facilitating civil society to teach the poor meta fishing skills rather than fishing skills and offering fish. We have, for example, grown from a mere 5 crore families in farming with a mere 15% labor to about 15 crore families with more than half as labor in 70 plus years. The well-being of 12 to 13 crore families depends on how well the remaining 5 to 6 crore families get absorbed in the lucrative and decent non-farm livelihoods quickly. That would mean a whooping 10 crore jobs just to rehabilitate farmers and farm workers. The crisis situation is more pronounced with other traditional livelihoods. Growing middle class wants products and services, and these people have to produce or provide these products or services. As an economy, services have touched 50% of GDP and primary sector is less than 20%. Workforce has to get distributed accordingly. Fortunately, the parents do not want their children to continue in these livelihoods. The youth are reluctant to continue. If educated, the reluctance is higher. Unfortunately, the quality of our education is pathetic. A recent employability survey reveals that a mere 1% of our graduates and postgraduates are employable. This is slightly better for professional graduates. Our own experience in recruiting candidates reveals this amply. About 10,000 plus graduates or postgraduates, when assessed on 4 simple counts, which is writing 50 to 100 words in mother tongue about oneself, reading a passage in mother tongue, and responding to direct questions, translating a simple 2 to 3 sentences and simple arithmetic problem. Most of them could not score a minimum grade. Surprising, but that is the reality we are living with. In any case, it appears that the youth want to get into government service as priority. Otherwise, we are self-employed or enterprise-centric, which is Krishi. Therefore, many of the youth are not wired to be slaves doing a routine low-end job. They would like to be self-employed or run an enterprise for products or services. They seem to have 7R skills, which is reading, writing, arithmetic, reflecting, unlearning, practicing, and pursuing, along with information, communication, technological skills. They seem to have entrepreneurial competencies like visioning, taking an initiative, result orientation, innovation, critical information seeking, interpersonal ability, tenacity, self-control, strategic influencing, concerning with impact, learning orientation, etc. Because they have survival instincts. With COVID, some migrants are back in native places. Some migrants go back to work locations to find that they are no longer needed. All of them need to be absorbed locally. Transient poverty is increasing, and to go beyond 60%, they need to be absorbed in the workforce, either as skilled worker or as self-employed. While government may not absorb more people on its rolls, these poor, their organizations and the organizations that work for them need skilled workforce, skilled in community mobilization, collectivization, servicing their collectives, analyzing and planning for households, groups and collectives, pooling resources, providing market intelligence, sourcing inputs, pooling the produce and adding value, marketing the pooled produce, extension in managing natural and physical resources, social resources and financial resources, so on and so forth. They also need service providers, they need teachers, they need health workers, they need milk testers, they need bookkeepers, someone for 20 or 25 families, that is 30 to 40 million, some zero point 0.5 to 1 million integrators working as chief executives or their deputies of community organizations or the support organizations or units. They also need entrepreneurs to launch and manage enterprises. Some of these organizations or enterprises may have business turnovers in the range of 100 to 1000 million rupees, comparable to medium-sized corporate. High time that we dig deep into the context of certain paradoxes and impose ourselves with certain questions. There are crores of people eagerly searching for jobs. Paradoxically, on the other side, employers are unable to find employees with suitable skills and are facing difficulty in filling up jobs with suitable persons. A fraction of these people are accessing placements. Only 10%, which is 2% formally, 8% informally of total workforce avails skill training. Professionals are in job market without required skills. Over 80 to 90% of skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled workers without formal training are engaged in informal sector. Majority people are unskilled workers. The schools are not able to offer life skills, foundation and core skills and soft skills. The students, after going to school for a few years, get a feeling that they should not be engaged in certain occupations, including farming and other traditional occupations. Is not there a need for market need assessment of products and services consumers are seeking and the current skill status of people in the market? Should they not be counseled deeply for getting ready livelihoods and marketable skills for gainful employment post-schooling? Should not the counseling involve discussion on what market needs, what skills they have, and what skills they can acquire based on their behavior, competency profile, and skill set? Many more paradoxes exist. Skills needed versus skills available. Employers need skilled persons versus skilled persons need jobs. Skills without certificate versus certificates without skills. Skills in abundance versus skills that support or enhance our competitive edge. Placement versus admissions, etc. Industry's way of dealing with skilled workforce, which is blue collar, vis-a-vis other human resources, which is white collar, is under scrutiny, and there is a consensual demand for treating everyone as a human resource. With increased share of services in GDP, the concepts of service level agreements and full-time equivalents are heard more often, and they find their way into industry too. This paves way for increased outsourcing. Large units taking outsourcing from multiple units for increased scale and cost effectiveness and need for multitasking and skilling. It appears that all skills that can be thought of are in the schedule of wages for minimum wages. If not in the list, it is treated as part of others. With MG and REGS working for unskilled, market has to pay at least the minimum wage for any skill. Under the circumstances, how can we absorb with remunerative incomes guaranteed some 15 to 20 million youth every year from now on, after accommodating the existing 300 plus million youth on the bench? tall order. It can be a long wait. None of us know the future well. This would mean offering the youth multiple skills and meta skills so that they cope with not so certain future and future projections or forecasts. This would also mean improving the foundation of 7-hour, 3-hour skills to all, teaching and practicing dignity of labor, and increasing skill schools, occupational or vocational gurukulams. These schools need initial funds to begin and for infrastructure and could become self-reliant in due course. Trainers need to be trained in the new and expanded curriculums that include soft skills and life skills, etc. There should be space for continuing education and career paths should be visible. They need to get paid well, better than an unskilled or less skilled educated assistants. Then the youth can afford professional educational loans and buy skill education. They need to be prepared. Some could be employed, some could become self-employed, and some could be entrepreneurial, starting tiny enterprises that can take an outsourcing work, service provision. They can be collectives of service providers with multiple but interlinked or integrated services. Yes, they need to be financed. In addition, there is a need for place to stay, eat, and socialize in the environment she or he is familiar with. This offers scope for temping enterprises. In all this, identifying the people based on their competency and interests, inducting them and mentoring them becomes the key processes forward. In these testing times than ever, there are some big questions that confront us, which is, are we pushing migration into cities? Where are the employers? Are we going to have skills that are required in rural areas? What about the unemployment in the educated? With regards to skilling, how can we make it useful to Indian rural youth, to rural India? How do we ensure that there is some understanding between the urban and rural players so that an integrated effort without unnecessary competition in the job market? Should we merge the rural and urban skills missions into one? Can we tailor the skilling to provide for jobs and self-employment? Can we offer entrepreneurial support, mentoring? How do we bring in the existing self-employed, family employed? Can we finance them? Can we support value addition? Can we collectivize the self-employed for achieving backward and forward linkages and value addition? How do we map the demand for jobs? How do we map the demand for products and services? Do we have the counseling for the youth for their current skill sets and aspirations? How do we ensure quality skilling for them? How do we show market for them? How do we involve and build ownership for the community institutions in identifying the needy youth, matching skills needs with market skills, skilling and placement? Can we give vouchers to individual youth to choose her or his skill need and get skilled? Can we ask the community institutions to take charge of skilling? Or can we build a partnership between the skilling agency and community institution? Can we achieve the scale we require, some 2 crore per year? Can we keep the entire framework engendered, gender sensitive? Skilling in India on the whole, we have outlays increasing for skills without concomitant results. It is still surprising. Employers are not chipping in big way to pre-sponsor skilling for placement. Similarly, financial institutions and banks are shying away from sponsoring the would-be entrepreneurs and self-employed to skills and helping them with grants and loans to establish product and service enterprises on the scale we want. This is a wake up call. For a life centric economy, faster recovery from COVID, and more crisis, self regulation has to be learnt. To be rooted in and being in sync with nature has to be adopted. Be electronic, but beware of e fatigue. Services to poor, vulnerable, marginalized in access to entitlements, rights, services, and justice, universal basic income can be thought after. Let us appreciate that there is an education funnel and only a few pass through it. When about 20 million children enter school every year, only a fraction, which is less than 2%, join the organized sector employment. About 80% have to join agriculture and allied sectors as owners or labor, or become self-employed artisans, or join the casual, semi-skilled, skilled workforce. Many of these have to be rehabilitated in alternative sectors. Let us appreciate that there is a continuum. Education, 3R abilities, skills, experience based. There is a continuum with regards to it being traditional or existing, new or emerging, tribal or rural or urban. Let us appreciate that there is an employment in regards wage, job, self-employed or services, entrepreneur continuum, employability and competency continuum, and demand continuum. Jobs can be in individual or collective enterprise or enterprises. Collectives of workers are feasible. Let the youth exercise informed choice based on appreciation of aptitude and ability. While the aspiration profile of the youth more or less remain the same, the capability sets are very diverse. The differences exist in multiple axes across background, whether they are from tribal, rural, urban. If the literacy rate is less or more, skills, if it is less or more, security, are they security seeking, entrepreneurial, and if entrepreneurial, are they ready to be self-employed, to run an enterprise, lead a team, marriage, knowledge, skills, and behavioral competencies. Many may have different basic 3R, which is reading, writing, arithmetic skills. Let us ensure that we choose youth with values, hope that it is useful, faith that they can learn and have capacity, promise that they are reliable and long term, love that they have care, discipline, concentration, and practice. Let us be sure that they get remunerated well. Let us ensure that they got high quality skilling so that a career path is visible. All should get life or core or soft skills, market skills, leadership management skills, in addition to training skills. They should learn to understand and manage oneself and team. Let the training be residential, not less than 180 days. It is important that they get multiple skills, generalist skills, and integrator skills. Let us offer 3F, which is fish, fishing, and meta fishing. Initial unemployment stipend and stipend during skilling, offering skills, offering meta skills to market skills, services and products, discovering the gaps and opportunities, and finding a way to address the gaps and or tap the opportunities and learn new skills on their way, or through finding appropriate sources as capabilities at all. Let there be some stake or investment by the trainee too. Big skill area profiles should include natural farming, integrated farming, and related enterprises, education, health, self-help in terms of microfinance services, community institutions, retail, security as delivery boys, driving transport, home management, elder care, 1000 days, etc. Let us offer skilling portfolio of options, customized videos, live examples, exposure to real job or enterprise, offline and online, rigorous practice, career guidance, mentorship, internship, apprenticeship, hand holding, funds and linkages, etc. Let us offer vouchers to youth so that they can buy skilling program wherever they want. Let us increase skills for self-employment or entrepreneurship numbers vis-a-vis skills for jobs. The offer should include knowledge, skills, tools, practice, apprenticeship, and resources. Let the local community institutions in identifying and tracking the trainees. Let us allow moving from job skilling to skilling for self-employment and vice versa. Better still is hybrid. Let us nurture and take them till the end. Till retained job, maybe a year, or a well-functioning self-employment unit. Let us assess the entrepreneurial spirit. Pursue opportunities relentlessly with limited resources, taking calculated risks. Remember T. Pakoda Enterprises? Let us teach the principles. We are an enterprise country. Tribal, rural, urban, emerging is blurring. There are no real experts. We need to dig deep. Purpose matters the most, not the tools, skills. Organizations and enterprises need social company. Let us teach local market, quality scale trade-off, reach the consumer directly as far as possible. We cannot do everything. We need partners, enterprises, entrepreneurs, and workers can come together. Let us operate in a prosperity paradigm. Let us remember that all enterprises are not formal, all are not big, all are not stationary, all are not having offices. Some may be 1 to 5 number enterprises. Let us remember entrepreneurs need support in terms of counseling, training, mentoring, role models, business plan, systems, market feedback, technology adoption, team risk cover, equity. Entrepreneurial clustering for commodities, products and services is possible. Entrepreneurs can service one another too. Angel investors, venture capitalists, financial institutions, bank et al. Are linkable. Let them go through visioning and planning for them individually and as an enterprise. Let them go meta. Let them strengthen or build existing collectives, collectivize and communitize. It is time for our leaders to learn and show the rare skills of system thinking, honesty, humility, and generosity. Can we work on them? Let us be with nature. Let us be 7R and practice 7L SHG. Let us help others amongst us to be 7R and practice 7L SHG. Let us be skilled for robust portfolios of life. Let nature take charge. Let nature take and keep us there. Join us in the world of yoga, Jiva Nipuna Yoga for 7L. Krishna confirms he is watching us to take us there.